Okay, we're back in the chest world. This one I'm going to be returning to the trial chamber, which you may remember from a few episodes ago. But first I need food, because that was the big problem last time I went to the trial chamber. So, in this case, I'm going after pigs. I could go after technically every single mob, but like, there's a bunch of sheep and chickens. I don't know, I just picked out pigs in this case. No good reason for that. I think in future I should just get any bit of food, which I guess you will soon see why I say that, but it's probably quite predictable why I say that. But yeah, this is me just getting my food for the trial chamber, so mostly just getting pigs. When I say mostly getting pigs, I mean literally just solely getting pigs. So there's 20 pork chops there. I believe I get like 21 in the end. I don't really know. It's not that important. But yeah, we will be going back to the Nether at some point. However, like I say, in this episode, I'm going back to the trial chamber, which I said I was always going to do, which is why I have the trial keys and everything in my inventory. I also did get that last pork chop, but you can see I already ate through them because I also decided to fight some mobs before. So yeah, here we are back in the trial chamber, or re-entering the trial chamber. Now, this spot is actually quite a good place to go back in, because you may remember this is a bit from the last one, from the last time I was in here. But obviously, one thing which I seem to gloss over in my own head when I was playing this is that I actually did defeat all the mobs in this part, but obviously when you go back to a trial chamber, they can respawn, and that is exactly what has happened. But I kind of forgot about that, which shocked me a bit. Like I wasn't expecting to have to fight mobs immediately. And you will see again though that later on in the recording you will notice that I do the same mistake again, which yeah, pretty bad. But I also whiffed that jump completely into the water, which is bad. You can see me getting quite low, but I think I end up being okay. Actually, I say I think I end up being okay. I know I do. This is a rare occasion where I don't die once in this episode. Or maybe I do, because of the fact this episode is getting recorded in 2 parts, and this first voiceover is getting done before the second part, and the second part might not exist. I'll get to that at some point, but yeah, you can see me just going to town on the mobs. I think I actually dealt with them quite well in comparison to what I have previously, but I think a big part of this is that there's no baby zombies, and baby zombies are kind of the worst thing for me. I suck at dealing with them, so... Which I do have to deal with them later on, but again, you'll see that, so... Yeah, okay, I make a bow new, which... Sure, I don't really know why I did that, but sure. Yeah, so, obviously... Part of what I want from this trial chamber is a bunch of loot that you get from the trial chamber, but also I am trying to get bones still. That was one of the challenges that I still had left. So yeah, that is a big part of this. Beyond that, I don't really think there's a lot that I'll actually get from this part of the recording. Obviously, I was looking for diamonds, emeralds, all that stuff, and I think I do get some emeralds and... possibly diamonds, I can't really remember. We shall see. But yeah, I'm getting a decent amount of trial keys, which is useful, obviously, because, well, I want to get more from from the trials, so I think this is where, yeah, I go and use one of the trial keys again here. And this one, I think, if I remember correctly, gives me some pretty good loot. Yeah, so some emeralds, wind charges, golden carrots, a golden apple. Pretty good stuff, to be honest. I was pretty happy with that. And then, yeah, there's the last few mobs, which I think killing these gets me a final trial key, I want to say. Yes, okay. Good. So yeah, I go back and set my spawn point in here, or have I already done that? I can't really remember. Okay. I don't know why I'm showing this. Okay, I guess I already set my spawn point, I can't really remember. I might have already shown that and I've just completely ignored it. Either way, yeah, now there's baby zombies, and you will notice they just annihilate my health because I miss my shots quite regularly. And I mean, to be fair, that was better than normal, but yeah, they immediately just come back at me, and then I lose my sword, and I panic a bit. But luckily, I know the route back, and I already had an iron sword crafted, so wasn't too bad. And yeah, I wait for my health to get back up to full, unlike previous episodes where I would have just immediately gone and had a fight, which I think that's one of the big things in this episode, is I maybe have finally learned my lesson a bit. I'm going a bit less aggressive. So yeah, like, just dealing with the baby zombies as best as I can anyway. And yeah, I get another trial key. So I go back to my previous bit though. You may remember this is the first place where I actually entered the chamber, and I completely forgot that these guys would respawn, which startled me a bit, as you will soon see, as my health just gets completely annihilated down to 1 heart, and I run off. Yeah, a bit scared, because I completely forgot that they respawn. And I will keep that in mind now, hopefully. And hopefully I won't be stupid in future, but again, we'll see. But I also had to use the golden apple there, you'll notice, which I think maybe was a bit overdoing it. Maybe I panicked a bit too much there, but at the end of the day, I don't know when else I'd be using the golden apple anyway. It's just a quick bit of regeneration, which is what I needed in the moment, so, you know, it is what it is. It's not really a waste. I know that I can get them back anyway. Yeah, I'm not bothered just putting it out there. So yeah, I deal with them, and I think for the first time in this series, I actually have a decent enchantment level with 17. And one where it doesn't feel like it's overly at threat either. Like, I actually feel like I'm quite safe at the moment. So yeah, I craft myself the iron armor that had broken, so a helmet and some boots, and I get back on my way through the chamber to the part where I never really got to previously because, well, I tried to deal with the mobs up there, but I think at this point I knew not to activate them. So first of all, though, again, another chance to use my trial key, and this one rewards me with just awful things. By which I mean 2 iron ingots, I'm fairly sure that was. That's literally all I got. So anyway, here's this room. Yeah. Yeah, this is quite scary. You see the amount of baby zombies. I would definitely die here. So, I nope the hell out of there and realize that I probably just want to make way and get away with what I've got. Which means that I have officially completed the bone challenge. You won't see me place them in the chest, but you see me making my way to the exit, or entrance, as it was at the start of the episode. So yes, just on a quick one, as to what I was referring to, this is the first part of the recording. I don't know if I'll be doing a second part of this recording or not. So if this is the end of the episode, then bye, I guess. If not, though, I might end up coming back to this, and there might just be a second episode within the episode. Yeah, so I don't really know what to say other than maybe bye, if not, still hi. Yeah. Okay, to the surprise of absolutely no one, this episode continues, or to the surprise of people who maybe didn't check the length of the video. So, I completed the bones part of this challenge through that ordeal in the trial chamber, but I've also gone and got a bunch of pork chops off camera, so we're back, and yeah. It appears that my base of operations within the trial chamber has been infiltrated. So, yeah, I have to reclaim what is rightfully mine, set my spawn point. And then, okay, yep, there's more. Just keep at it. So yeah, pretty clear what's going on here. I was gone from the trial chamber too long, and again, the spawners have set off again. Don't worry, I do actually finally work out a way to deal with this. Permanently, hopefully, anyway. But I also don't think that after this episode, I will be needing to return to this particular trial chamber. Maybe another one, but not this one. Unless I was to do the ominous trials, which I've still never done in either this or my actual survival world, which is just gathering dust, the actual survival world. But yeah, you can also see me just constantly using that door to deal with. Are they husks? I can't remember what they're called. Just zombie guys. Those fellas. Also, you will notice that my armor broke here. And so, yeah, I get down to half a heart. I just thought I'd show this because there's a lot of times where I nearly die. Until now, where, again, I've tried to get past the baby zombies, and you can see there's still some there, and I'm waiting for them to come up, and then I start fighting them, and I'm doing a pretty good job here. And then I start missing, and then there's just more that just appear from behind me, presumably from that other room. So obviously I try and get my stuff back because I can't leave empty-handed. But at this point, the baby zombie onslaught had begun. And so I was curious as to how many there was. I go up the water and, yeah, there's a lot. And that's not all of it. And so I die. And you can just see I'm constantly trying to get my stuff back. I get an axe, and my axe back here. So I at least can attack them. I stay in the water tactically here because they obviously can't come at me quite as quick. And it was working for a while, but then the water kind of came to an end, and yeah, I had to rethink my strategy. So I go back up, and I try and recover. There's also 2 zombies there. You can see there's a lot of baby zombies, and I suck at fighting baby zombies. So in the meantime, while they're all down there, I'm just checking to see what loot there is, and you can see there's actually emeralds, which is great, because obviously I'm still trying to complete the emerald challenge, I'm still trying to complete the diamond challenge. I die again. We'll keep on yapping. Yeah, like, I'm trying to complete all of them. There might be some other ones that I think ender pearls as well, if I get any of them. Maybe I'm forgetting some others, but yeah, you can see that, like, these zombies, they're not giving up, and I could quite easily get a weapon out, but instead I try and lead them away from where I spawn, because, well, I don't want them near my spawn. I don't know why I didn't get my pickaxe out here. At least I would have a form of a weapon if I did that, but instead I'm just hitting them with an arrow, trying to, like, get away. I cut and die again. Okay, I don't really know what happened there, and yeah, they're all at the door. So I try this tactic again of opening the door, but then, yeah, like, there's just too many of them. So, run. There's so many of them. Do I go into F5? I kind of briefly did, but I didn't actually show anything there. Okay, we gather the stuff. I hit him with a pickaxe. I die again. You can see that this is going great. But this is when I had the revelation of there was a sharpness 1 iron axe in that barrel there. And this is where I come up with the idea of letting them all gather up here and kind of using the axe like a mace, where I can just jump down on them all and hopefully crit a bunch of them at once. That didn't really work, but it critted some and I took no damage. So there's maybe something here. So I do it again, and then I'm on to 2 hearts. And I don't know that I actually killed any of that, so it kind of worked. Did I cut out? Okay, so I mean, I'll give some context there. I actually went to go kill myself, which sounds really dark, because I was low, to regenerate from 2 hearts, and then I go and crit them again, and go get my stuff back, because it seemed safe. However, you will see that it just wasn't safe yet. Because, yeah, the baby zombies just pull up, and I'm swinging my sword way too much, I will say. I maybe should have gone a bit slower, but yeah, so I respawn again, I go after them again, I check to make sure that they're not there anymore. I think this is the one where I finally clear them all. Yeah, okay. There you go. I finally cleared them all. And it took a while. I mean, maybe not all of them. I can still hear the noise of baby zombies, but I'm fairly sure that was pretty much the extent of it all. But here's what I do to actually ensure that if I ever was to come back to this trial chamber, I don't have to deal with them ever again. I just cover them up like that, and now they can't get me. So anyway, the final room. And yeah, there's some baby zombies, but not that many. I think I should be okay here. Alright, so yeah, there's also they're called breezes. the breeze. Oh no. There's one of them, which is also trying to kill me. And you can see, though, these guys are messing me up with his bows. Not to half a heart here. And rather than eating, I fight them for some unknown reason. Will I win? Okay, I actually did win. Oh, okay, there's a guy behind me as well. I actually can't... Okay, I'm surprised. I didn't remember that I won that. Fair enough. But I did die eventually because my levels have gone down and I'm now in full health. I don't really know. But yeah, okay, I deal with the breeze, hopefully. Without dying. Please. No more dying. Just come on. Doesn't seem like the most efficient. I don't know what's going on. Just... There we go. So yeah, obviously I now finally have the trial keys to go and redeem, which is what I do. So I get a better iron chest plate there, and a few other bits. And then the final one, I think this is the final trial key that I use, I believe. And I get a few other bits there, but again, because of the amount of times I died, I think I actually lost some loot, so I lost some golden carrots over the way and stuff like that. But I also get some diamonds there from this final chest, Riptide free. Book, that's pretty good. So yeah, that was pretty much everything. I make it out the trial chamber, finally. And hopefully never have to return to that trial chamber. Hopefully. Or next time I do, hopefully I have just better gear, because... You will notice that it shredded through my armor, it shredded through pretty much everything. But in the chest, we finally have nearly all the diamonds that I need, nearly all the emeralds I need, and I think we're like 6 ender pearls off. So yeah, bye.